Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 15, Epilogue, Brother and Sister, Part 1. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura Light Novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. After I ate Velgrynd, I felt better. Now that he had some space to look around, he made his way around the battlefield. The forest was badly damaged, but Rimuru, the capital city, seemed to be fine. The area around the city was also damaged, but the Geldites seemed to be watching over most of it. During the fight with Velgrynd, I had the feeling that someone was always watching. To be honest, it was annoying, but I didn't have the energy to pay attention to such things at the time. Then, why are you here? What do you think, Lord Rimuru? I was actually trying to keep someone from getting in Lord Rimuru's way. Everyone else is working hard, so should you? You also go to work. I do. Diablo looked at me with a sad face and then left. I really can't figure out what this guy is thinking. So that no one could get in the way of the master, he planned to stay here as an escort. It wouldn't have been a good idea to watch the battle with such a plan. Diablo seemed to bother Seal as well. Some harsh sounds that aren't usually used came out. Overall, it's time to stop making noise and deal with Velgrynd. Even though Veldora has been given the job of convincing and showing. I tried to find out more, but Veldora said I was to blame for everything. I can't keep leaving this to Veldora. It was vital to thoroughly explain to her that Velgrynd and Veldora had suddenly found themselves in the same situation. There's something to report before that. What's that? The way Velgrynd is broken down shows that she seems to be controlled by someone, most likely Rudra's power. What do you think? I thought Seal would analyze Velgrynd, which didn't surprise me much, but Velgrynd was being ruled, and I couldn't keep quiet about it. By the way, is the prisoner sure it's Rudra? Pretty much sure. Also, while looking at the fight between Carrera and Tatsuya Kondo through the Soul Corridor, it looks like Rudra also has control over Kondo. They likely live in the same state. It was clear that I couldn't count on Veldora, so it was up to me to explain. However, Velgrynd probably wouldn't listen to me at all because of Veldora's spiritual dominance. What can we do about this? How about putting Velgrynd in the same spot as Veldora, since it's hard to absorb it? That is, a soul corridor can be made between me and Velgrynd, just like with Veldora, making her my ultimate skill? Is it possible? There is no doubt that Lord Rimuru is on par with or even better than the dragon race, and that he has a lot of mana. Velgrynd can be absorbed without a problem. But doing that wouldn't take Velgrynd's free will away, or wouldn't it? I couldn't force him to do anything, and even when I did ask him to do something, it was only done after he agreed. The fastest way to prove I wasn't guilty was to put Velgrynd in the same situation as Veldora and then free her. Then they won't have to keep being misunderstood and hurt. Sibling quarrel? Not sure. I don't keep an eye on things like this. Anyway, now is the time to get Velgrynd in the same condition as Veldora. Should you add restraints to Velgrynd if you're feeling uneasy? As long as she promised to stay out of the way, she could live her life wherever she wanted. Understood. It seems like the right thing to do for Lord Rimuru. Start by saying hello. I turned my attention to space, and Velgrynd was right in the middle of it. Ah, Miss Velgrynd, how are you? You're Rimuru, right? You gotta be kidding me. Just get me out of here. Ah, Rimuru? You couldn't have acted badly toward sister, could you? How could I do such a thing? If you could really persuade her, I wouldn't have to try so hard. It seemed like we were going to fight. Shut up, everyone. Ah, yes, sorry. A loud cry came out of nowhere, and Veldora and I both lowered our heads at the same time. It's really scary, so it makes sense that Veldora found her hard to deal with. What the hell's going on, Rimuru? Even if you ask me what's going on, I can hear the voice of the other body over there, but why doesn't my voice go there? What the heck did you do? I couldn't help but feel my heart skip a beat as I stared at the very beautiful woman. She felt tickled when her breath hit her face. It smells wonderful. Even though I wasn't supposed to need to breathe, Velgrynd smelled very sweet. Those things aren't important right now. Velgrynd's question should be answered by the fact that she is no longer ruled by Rudra. You seem a little upset? It's just a trick, is that right? Don't worry about it. It would be better to wait and hear what Seal has to say first. It's really not that hard to say. The Velgrynd in front of me is no longer spiritually controlled by Rudra, but the other body is still controlled by Rudra. To stop the information from getting out, I used the infinite prison to block it. Our intelligence doesn't get out, but the other side can get it on their own. Velgrynd over there became so desperate that she stopped being able to read my mind. This was made worse by Rudra's dominance. It only goes one way. I know Seal has done something great, but I wouldn't be surprised anymore. That is, if you look at this difference in consciousness, you'll be able to tell if you're being controlled or not. So, that's what Rimuru is like. Here's what I think about Rimuru, sister. You just shut up. Yes, it was a secret that Veldora, who had spoken up, was being punished again, which made me a little bit happy. After scolding Veldora, Velgrynd seemed to be deep in thought. As I said, she was probably trying to find a difference between herself and the other body over there. I also knew what was going on the Emperor's flagship because of what my friends told me. The battle has reached its last stage. Just then, something happened that would make Velgrynd's doubts go away. My companions surrounded Velgrynd. The scene looks a little bit bad, but only people who don't know much about it can feel that way. Even though Velgrynd is weaker now, it would be hard for everyone to work together to defeat her. Putting that aside for a moment, Velgrynd's alien space was falling apart and looked like it was about to fall down. Just as I was thinking that, Diablo came and destroyed the space in a very easy way. The primordial black, it is Diablo. If I don't see that guy, I'll get very powerful. I like that guy because he gives me his snacks. At that moment, Velgrynd stepped forward to protect Rudra. Even though things had gotten to this point, Rudra didn't move from his chair. When one man saw Rudra in this state, she was the first to act. It's Carrera. She didn't think twice before firing the golden pistol at Rudra. And the shots she fired. Didn't that move make me weaker? Kondo can only fire one bullet a day, so why can yellow primordial fire more than one? Not the primordial yellow, but Carrera. It looks like Kondo put her in charge of Rudra's business after he lost. When Velgrynd heard this explanation, she muttered, I didn't expect even Kondo. The situation has changed again, which has nothing to do with Velgrynd's confusion. Rudra. Velgrynd yelled over there and spread her arms out to protect Rudra from her. I can't believe I can move fast enough to catch up with the Godspeed bullets. You must have the strength of a monster. But the divine extermination bomb was not a simple weapon. Not only did it hit Velgrynd's whole right arm, but it also hit Rudra without losing power. However, Rudra was surprisingly not hurt. The Emperor always looked calm, which made it seem like he knew from the start that Carrera's attacks would not hurt him. What is it? Why did the Emperor have the power to stop that attack? Not sure. It's hard to believe that you can see something like the barrier, but it's also hard to believe that that alone can disprove it. The radiance startled both Veldora and me. As if Velgrynd couldn't believe it either, she muttered, why, and fell to the ground, where she had to use both hands to keep herself up. Sister, what's wrong? Velgrynd answered the scared Veldora with a whisper. Your friend was right. I was really ruled by Rudra. Velgrynd finally figured out what was going on and told us about Rudra. Rudra was safe because he had an iron wall around him to protect him. This protection is total and can't be broken by anyone, no matter what. Even Carrera's divine extermination bomb can't hurt it, so it's safe to say that it's almost impossible to lose to. Even though the attack couldn't be done when it was launched, all that had to be done was give it to the minions. Since you have that power, you don't have to go out and hide him, do you? Right. I should have known better than to act like I was safe so I could wait for a chance to attack. However, she acted in such manner, which is to say. Velgrynd finally realized that she had also been thought-induced by Rudra when she forced herself to protect Rudra. On the other hand, Rudra is in charge of the absolute realm of the castle guard. Not moving at all. That's the way it should be. What? Another panicked yelp came from Velgrynd. Even Veldora and I were speechless. Despite the fact that she has lost her right arm, Velgrynd rushes to Rudra's aid, but is pierced in the chest by Rudra, who immediately lifts the castle guard. Almost like Velgrynd did it on purpose. So, that's it. That man I loved, Rudra, is gone. Velgrynd's eyes filled with tears. Rudra snorted loudly, as if to prove what Velgrynd had said. Haha. Oh, Velgrynd, it's a pleasure to have you help me. Your power will be put to good use. Velgrynd crouched down in pain as soon as he heard Rudra say so. Veldora and I were forced to gaze each other in the eyes by Velgrynd's instructions. It's up to you when Rudra is against us. Don't say anything stupid. Even though it's obvious, I'm the strongest when it comes to this, but it's a troublesome opponent, so please forgive me for saying no. I'll make you a sundae. That's very sweet. Velgrynd looked at us, who were pushing each other off, with a breathless face. It looked like she had stopped crying because of this. The King of Justice is Rudra. What does this mean? I had an idea, but I wanted to hear what Velgrynd had to say about it, so I asked.